Good morning, my friends. Welcome to my craft room. My name is Daryl Walter of Pickled Peppers Creative Cafe at pickledpepperscreative.com. Today is Sunday. It is Sunday, guys, March 9th, 2024, and I am here in my craft room to create with you this morning. Now, how are you? How has your week been? I'm going to grab a little hand cream. How has your week been? Has it been fantastic? And also, how are you doing? Were you able to get crafty at all this weekend? Hopefully you had plenty of time to get creative this weekend. It is daylight savings time. Were you ready? I was not ready. Even though at some point during the day yesterday, I thought of it, and in my family, we talked about it a little bit, I totally forgot overnight. So I got up a little later this morning than I wanted to be because of daylight savings time. I like it. I like daylight savings time because, you know, it's lighter and you get more daylight during active hours. But boy, oh boy, does that hour ever pain me. It takes me away. So that's just to let you know, if I'm a little scramble-headed this morning, that's because that hour, yeah. So come on in. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to my craft room. Today I have a simple but cute card to share with you. We're going to see something that I haven't shown you before in terms of the stamp set that we're using. And then we're going to use an embossing folder that is new. And it is really cool. So I'm going to show you those things and we'll make something cute and quick with it. So come on in. I hope that you got your coffee or whatever that beverage is that wakes you up in the morning. Mine is coffee, and I definitely have filled it to the rim this morning. When you come in, don't forget to say hi. Let me know that you're watching. Chat with me. I love to chat with you while we're creating. I do have to give a little bit of a disclaimer if for some reason I don't see your comments, because sometimes I can't see them. They just don't show up for me until afterwards. And sometimes I'm busy focusing on what we're doing and I just miss them as they go by. But please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're watching live on Facebook, chat and say hi with me. Let me know if you're watching live, or even if you're watching the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, still say hi. Let me know that you're watching. Give a like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and yeah, that's my housekeeping. All right. I don't know if you guys know, so we're going to take a look in the new catalog, or I'm sorry, the mini catalog here, but I did want to mention a couple of things. Good morning, Ellen. Good morning. Thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room this morning. Welcome. I hope you're having a good morning and you're adjusting to that early start for this morning a little bit better than I am. The designer series paper that we're going to be using is out of this mini catalog, but I did want to mention to you that this is a January through April catalog, so it's going to be going away next month. We have until the end of April. So in May, we're going to be getting a brand new catalog with new products. So that's something that it is exciting coming up. All right. I'm not going to keep you guys extra long. We're going to play for a little bit and then I'll let you get along with your Sunday. By the way, thank you so much for showing up on Sunday with me. I had to defer yesterday, so I'm excited that you're able to be here today. So welcome and thank you for being here. All right. So let's talk about what we're going to be using in terms of product. The stamp set that we're using today, I do want to let you know that it is in our Last Chance retiring store. I've had it for a while. This is the first time that I've shown it or shared it with you, however. It is called Love This Moment. And so this is what it looks like. And actually, excuse me, this is a great stamp set for scrapbooking or memory keeping. So can you see all of the little, let's see if I can get my fingers out of the way there. Can you see all of the little sentiments that are there? So, and then you have all of these little, let's see, they're on this side. All of these little goodies, that little camera, and a bunch of little goodies, especially if you do pocket scrapbooking, so, or memory keeping. Fantastic. And then we have a big happy and a big smile, and then some flowers. And then look, there's also a little journaling box or journaling lines that you can make a journaling box with. So, this is a really versatile set, but I do want to let you know what's in the Last Chance store. So if you love it, you might want to get it. And also, I did look at it earlier this morning, and it is on sale, and it is only $10, you guys. It's only $10. So we're going to use one of the big words out of it. So that's what we're using in terms of stamp set. And then we have this new release. It's a huge embossing folder. It's a Stampin' Cut and Emboss folder. It is the Plaster Painting 3D embossing folder. I've already embossed the piece that we're going to be using, but let's see if I can give you a better look. Can you see that? It's like, I don't know, it's like, it reminds me of mixed media, and it also looks like plaster on a wall or thick paint. Isn't that cool? I love abstract stuff like this with texture. So I definitely swooped it up. We're going to be using this today. And then in terms of die cuts, I'm falling back to my favorite. I'm a big fan of circles and the Spotlight on Nature. Can you see how it's all inked up? That means love, you guys. That means that I use this quite a bit because I love it. So I grabbed actually a couple of die cuts from that because I wasn't sure which size I wanted to use. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. And the designer series paper that we're using, we don't have a whole lot, but we are going to be maybe making a background with it. I'm not sure. I might run over and make a die cut with it. But let's see. Let me tell you the real name. It's on page 35 in the mini catalog, so that's why I have this there, to make sure that you know. It is Floral Delight 12 by 12. So here we go. Floral Delight 12 by 12 designer series paper. And I'll give you just a little bit of a peep. There we go. And we're just going to use a little bit of it. But this is what it looks like. I love it. It's Daffodil Delight. There's some Lemon Lolly. I'm pretty sure that's Old Olive in there. Maybe this is some Boho Blue in the background. Once again, you guys, we had a bush like this in our yard with flowers similar to this when I was growing up. I don't know what it's called. I am a weird flower lover. I'm the girl that loves flowers by what they look like, and I never know the name. They're just flowers I like. So here's a quick look at the reverse side. There we go. So some patterns there, some gingham. You know, I'm a fan of gingham if you are a friend that's hung around with me. All right, and then we have this pattern that we're going to be using that I pulled out. This is the reverse side, and here is the front side. We're going to use a little bit of that. And again, it's in the current January through April catalog on page 35. There's also some vellum that's really beautiful. It coordinates with this. This is actually a part of a product suite. Here are the stamps and dies that go along with it if you wanted to take a look. But again, pages 34 and 35 of the mini April through January, or January through April catalog. Boy, even my speech is still in that missing hour. All right, so I've made a couple of die cuts. We may use one, we may use both. I'm not quite sure, but we have this layer for the sentiment. We have a piece of the Daffodil Delight 5 1/4 by 4. This is the embossed layer. Look at that. Is that fantastic? Wonderful. And then I just have a scrap of Daffodil Delight, and then we have a piece of 8 1/2 by 11 that we're going to cut our card base out of, I should say. And then I am going to grab some basic white because we'll need it for the inside of our card. So we'll cut that as well. So let's go ahead and start by cutting our card base. Let's start there. I think that's a good place. We'll put all of this aside for a little bit next to the computer. So, were any of you able to have a crafty weekend? I shared with you that I got a sewing machine. Yeah, let's go ahead and score this first. So I'm going to score this with the 8 1/2 inch side towards the top, and we're going to score it halfway at 4 1/4. And the reason I'm going to do that is because once I cut it, we'll have 2 even card bases. It's one of the ways that I like to cut my cardstock. So there's no scrap if I can help it. Sometimes I have scrap and you can't help it, and I let that part of it go. But yes. Oh, Ellen, you use those circles all the time. Aren't they amazing? They are amazing. It's my favorite circle dies to date. I'm crazy about circles in general, but yeah, to date, my favorite. All right, and then that piece of basic white, we're going to cut a piece for the inside. So it's already a half sheet. I cut it at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I'm just going to swing the long side up, cut it down to 4 because we need that matte for the inside. And it should be 5 1/4. So I'm just going to cut it down to 1/4 inch to 5 1/4. And then we have some scrap. I'll set that aside. We're not going to be using it, but we'll take this out. So we have our card base. We're going to bring in our embossed mat because we're going to cut it with the 5 1/4 inch side towards the top of our trimmer. We're going to cut it into 3 pieces. So it's 5 1/4 by 4. We're cutting on the 5 1/4 side. So we're cutting 3 pieces, 3 equal pieces. So each piece will be cut at 1 3/4 inch. That should give us 3 even sections. So let's go ahead and cut those. This is going to be a really simple card. And then when we assemble it, we'll decide on embellishment. There we go. So you see how we have our 3 pieces here. So we'll put those aside as well. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of 1 inch right off the end of our designer series paper. And we need it to be 1 by 5 1/4. So let's go ahead and cut it 1 inch. There we go. And I'll put that aside and we'll cut it down to 5 1/4 inch. There we go. I'll stick the scrap aside. All right, now we'll put the Stampin' Trimmer away. By the way, Stampin' Trimmer, good morning, Beth. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. How are you? How are you? happy daylight savings time. If you don't have this tool in your repertoire, I'm going to tell you that you need it. I don't care how many trimmers you have. This one is amazing. It cuts and scores. It's very lightweight. There's an extra arm here that allows you to extend your cut out to 17 whole inches. You see that? So you can cut something, let's see, I am not even sure how many inches we have along the side here. About 12 and a half. So 12 and a half by 17. So this cuts cuts a lot. It's lightweight. It's my favorite tool, almost. All right, so let's go ahead and do some stamping. We'll decide on our sentiment, or should we do some arranging first? Yeah, let's do some arranging and then we'll do the stamping. That way we don't have to keep up with all of the little pieces. So on the front side of our card, we are going to, let's see, we're going to arrange, and I wonder if I want an extra mat here. We're going to arrange our 3 pieces of embossed cardstock, and just kind of willy-nilly, we're going to overlap them, kind of willy-nilly, and they take up a lot of space here, which is what I wanted. So it's going to give us a willy-nilly background. Let's see. Take a look at. Okay, so just figure out how you want them to overlap, and then we're going to glue them right down. I'm considering cutting them down just a little bit. So they're 5 1/4, but they're taking a lot of space there. Let's go ahead and cut them down a little bit. I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off, so they're at 4 inches. So on the 4-inch side, remember we cut them at 1 3/4 inch. So with the long side towards the top of the trimmer, I'm just going to take 1/4 inch off. Let's see if I like that better. Yes, much better. Okay, I want to see a little bit of the background. And they were pretty, these pieces are just a tad bit longer than I saw them in my head. All right, much better. Let's put this away. I utilize that trimmer quite a bit too. And the other thing is, you know what? It doesn't cost very much. It's like 20 some dollars. I do have lots of trimmers, to let you know. I have them for different things. I like to take that one with me when I'm crafting, but I'm always afraid that I'm going to break it or lose it, so I don't like to take it a lot. So I have a knockoff that I'm not afraid to have a mishap with. All right, let's see. Okay, that looks good. I just want them to look a little wonky and to cover up most of the space in the background. So let's go ahead and glue them down. Now that I've decided where I want them, I'm going to grab the one in the very back. Also, when you are adhering very thick pieces of cardstock, such as we have here from the embossing, I like to use Stampin' Seal Plus, or I like to use the green multi-purpose liquid glue. Something strong, because in my opinion, in my experience, I should say, sometimes regular adhesive doesn't hold it or grab it enough to keep it in place. And so sometimes those elements fall off. So I use Stampin' Seal Plus because it's a tape runner. So I get the convenience of a tape runner, and it's also like heavy duty. So I can be confident that things are going to stick into place. All right, so easy peasy, I told you. This is our background, right? Let's go ahead and put the inside together and adhere it in. So the extra piece of designer series paper is just going to line the bottom. So our card is going to open like a rooftop fold. Here is what it is. So this is going to be the bottom, and we're just going to glue this right down. You could do it on either side actually, because both sides are really pretty. The opposite side of this looks like that eyelet lace. Is that what it looks like? Is that what you think that is? I don't know. Looks like eyelet lace to me. But anyways, I want the flowers because I am in spring mode. So we're going to glue this right down to the bottom. And then let's go ahead and stick this right down on the inside. That way we're done with all of the little pieces. We'll do some stamping, and we might do a little bit of coloring. Some embellishing, and then we're done. All right, so let's stick this down. I'm leaving just an eyeball even border around this layer. Here, let's do it like this. I am an eyeballer, so I hope it doesn't drive you crazy that I'm not using the grid mat. I'm always impatient, I should say. All right. So I think we'll decide. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of stamping. I think we'll decide whether or not we'll use both of the die cuts. I actually kind of like them both. Maybe we could pop this up, but I really want to use one of the larger words here. So I'm not sure if we can get away with the smaller. Oh yeah, it looks like the smile will fit nicely inside there. And I wanted to use the little floral spray. So this would be, oh, you know, I know a perfect way we can use it. All right, we'll use that little floral spray as well. Let's stamp the flowers down on our scrap of basic white. And then we'll do a little coloring and some fussy cutting. So we'll need the black memento. Black memento is another must-have if you don't have. Oh, yes, Beth, pop it up. Okay, it's a deal. I love dimensions. So Beth, you are a girl after my own heart. We are going to pop that right up. All right, so let's ink this up. Black memento is a staple. If you don't have black memento in your repertoire, it's a really nice, true black. And so I use it quite a bit. We're going to stamp that twice. One is for good measure, just in case something goes wrong. Boy, there's a lot of detail in that little piece. So I think maybe we'll just color the leaves and the larger flower. Let me show you what it looks like up close. You see that? There's a lot of detail. So let's grab some Stampin' Blends and do a little bit of coloring. And, oh, we need the black back. We're going to stamp the word smile. And Beth says that we should pop both layers up, so we are going to do that. I'm going to ink the word with the black memento. And we're going to stamp it right at the bottom of our circle die cut. I love big chunky stamps that color a lot or cover a lot of real estate. This is one of them. I love it. And don't forget you guys, if you do like this stamp set, it is in the store. It is in the last chance. They're still in the store this morning because I did look, and they're on sale for $10. So that is a fantastic deal. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to pop this up on the front of our card. And let's do a little bit of coloring. So I think we're going to need Daffodil Delight. Can you guys see this? I am going to show you. Oh, black memento. So the black memento I use with my Stampin' Blends markers, and it is a deeper black than any of the other black ink pads that I have, except for Stays On. It's like a true black. It's black like you would expect it to be. So I love it. Those are the two reasons that I use the memento. I just prefer it. Stays On is, if you're not familiar with Stays On, it is an ink that won't wash away if you're doing watercoloring, and that it won't bleed. I actually use the memento for watercoloring, and I haven't had a problem with it. But Stays On would be the preferred for that. Let's grab some Daffodil Delight. Let's do a little, let's see, we'll do Old Olive, I think, for the leaves. Let's make sure I have Old Olive. So yeah, Kate, those are the reasons that I prefer the black memento. It just looks like a true black. We have a basic black, and to me, it looks grayish black. So I prefer that memento. So yeah, I always tell people they have to have it in their repertoire. All right, we're going to use Peach Pie for the other. So we have some Stampin' Blends markers. They're alcohol-based markers, alcohol ink-based markers if you haven't used them before. So it doesn't leave streaks. When you color over a space that you've already colored, the ink blends together. It won't leave lines like a highlighter or a regular marker would. So I think I'm going to use since this detail is really small, your Stampin' Blends markers have two brushes or two ends on them, a brush tip, and then there's a rounded nib. Oh, here we go, a rounded nib. Because there's so much detail on this, I'm not going to use the brush because I don't want to color outside of the lines. Alcohol ink moves once you apply it, so if you get really, really close to the line, it may bleed over. Sometimes I don't mind that, especially when you're going for a watercolor look. However, I'm not doing that. Oh, all right. And then I forgot to say that the blends come in two shades of the same color, a light and a dark. So you'll get one of each, and you can kind of tell by the cap. And then it does tell you on the written description, it does tell you whether it's light or dark. So I'm using all of the dark pens because the Designer Series paper that we used and the Daffodil Delight, they are pretty bright colors. So I want a lot of color. I want a lot of color with the flowers as well. And you notice I'm just kind of scribbling. I'm kind of scribbling through, just like I did when I was in kindergarten. I'm not really being careful. It's the other reason that I love the Stampin' Blends markers. They're forgiving and they hide your flaws. And you can use them. You can use the darker color to pick up the lighter color. So they do shading really well too. We're not doing any shading today. I'm just kind of filling these in quickly. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time coloring, and we have some fussy cutting to do as well. So I just want to spend a few minutes on coloring. But when I do, I love these markers because they, like I said, they're pretty forgiving and it makes me look like a pro. But really, the marker is doing all the work because I'm doing nothing more than scribbling color on. Now that we've gotten those colored, I kind of want to do the smaller flowers. Let's see. Maybe I'll grab, here's what we have so far. Can you see that? Oh, you love these markers. Yes, Kate. Aren't they amazing? They are amazing. And I love the Stampin' Blends because I'm a matchy-matchy kind of girl. And the Stampin' Blends matches the cardstock, matches designer series paper. And I don't have to think about it. All I have to do is look at the back of the packaging and see what Stampin' Up! Tells me goes with it. And then that's what I use. Let's see. I almost thought of blue or purple. Shall we use the Highland Heather? Maybe, let's see. My eyeballs can see good here. I left my glasses on my bed, you guys. I left my glasses. I forgot to bring them down to my craft room with me, so this writing is really small. But yeah, okay, here we are. Highland Heather, light and dark. Let's go ahead and use, let's use the light. We'll use the light on this one. And again, I'm using just the rounded, I'm using the rounded nib because there's a lot of tiny detail here. And I decided to color the flowers. If I go outside of the line here, it's because I left my glasses on my nightstand next to my bed. I tell you, this morning with the daylight savings time, I totally knew. We were riding along yesterday and we were talking about it and talking about how each year they talk about abolishing it, blah, blah, blah. But when you go to bed, you don't remember all of that stuff and you wake up. You just wake up. That was me this morning. All right, so let's go ahead and show you. I'm not going to color the two, there we go. I'm not going to color these two sprigs, although we could. We're so close, but I'll leave them. And we'll just do a little fussy cutting really quickly. I'm going to leave a bit of a border around the outside. So I'm leaving a white border. And I'm just kind of twisting the paper around and keeping the scissors in place. If you're new to stamping, card making, one of the things, or paper crafting in general, I guess one of the things that would be really useful in your stash as you're building is a small pair of sharp scissors that you don't allow anyone else to use. You hide them and you only use them on your paper. Let's go ahead and get rid of the big part. You only use them for cutting paper and maybe ribbon. And that way you keep them sharp. But yeah, you need a small pair of scissors. We have snips in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. I haven't gotten them just because I have like a million pairs of small scissors, so I just didn't have a need for them since I already have some. But they are available in the online store as well. And like I said, I'm just kind of following the outline here, and I'm leaving a bit of a border. And we're almost done. We can assemble our card, find an embellishment, and then we will be done. Here we go. All right. This is what we ended up with. All right, so let's go ahead. The first thing we're going to do is let's let's go ahead and put this first layer down, and then we'll grab some dimensionals for the layer in between. You know what? It would be kind of nice to add a sprig or two between the two layers. I'll do that later. I won't keep you here for it, but all right, so we'll go ahead and put this down. And then, so our fussy cut piece, we're gonna glue right to the top, and we're gonna put a Stampin' dimensional on it, but we are gonna put some dimensionals between the two layers. So let's grab a sheet of dimensionals. Let's see, do I have a sheet with a lot on them? There we go. All right, so I'm gonna pop this first piece down, the first die cut. We're gonna use 3 Stampin' dimensionals. Hey, if you guys were here last weekend with me, I lost my take your pick tool and I didn't get up from my table. And oh my gosh, I have been so lopsided without it. I rely on it. I crawled on the floor under my desk. I don't know where it is. I have truly lost it. So if I don't find it in a couple of days, I'm going to get back under the table, look in the cracks. If I don't find it, I guess it will be time for a new one. And of course, I'll buy a new one and then I'll find it. I'm pretty sure. All right, we'll pop this right down. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. All right, and then we'll grab an embellishment. So here we are. And here's the inside. Do you guys love that embossing folder? So this is kind of frilly rustic. Would you call this that? So that's our card. Let's find an embellishment and then we'll be done. So here's my very big box of embellishments. And let's pull out what I think might go. Let's see. One side I have, oh, you know what? I think I can use my favorites. You see that peach in there? All right. Oh, that one's almost gone. Let's see. I'll have a new pack here. I'm sure I have a million half packs. All right, let's make a decision. I have been stuck on these, you guys, because they're so bright and the colors match most of what I've been creating, but they're Sunny Day iridescent dots. I'm thinking we might be able to get away with this peachy looking color and stick with our brightness, or we can keep it subdued, or we can make it blingy. What say you? Okay, let's put these aside. We'll either do pearls or rhinestones. Let's do rhinestones. Oh, yes. Kate, one spare is always good. And I always learn my lesson the hard way. I should look and see. I do have a stash. I may have an extra one in my stash because I've been in this space many times before. So I probably already purchased one that I may be able to nab. All right, so let's add a little bit of embellishment. I think first off, I'm going to grab a large one because I like big things. We're going to pop it right down under the smile, and then let's see. I'll turn it towards me. We could use all larger ones. Let's just go around. We'll put one here, and then let's see, we need one more. Or I wonder if we could do a series of smaller ones. No, I don't want to make it too busy. We'll just put it closer here. So we have kind of a triangle. I don't know why that's my madness, but it is. All right, here we are. Here's our finished quick and easy card with a little bit of surprise on the inside, space for your sentiment. I like to leave my cards blank, and I write my sentiment on a note. That way the recipient can use the card to give away for themselves. All right, let's talk about what we use today. Of course, we use the basic rhinestone jewels, or rhinestone basic jewels, that's what they are. And the stamp set that we're focusing on is the Love This Moment. We took that big smile. There's a great big happy that goes along with it. That's at the bottom of our card. This is a happy card. Don't you think this is a smile card? I think it's a smile card. And then happy and smile, and there are a whole bunch of little sentiments there that are really useful if you are a memory keeper, if you do pocket scrapbooking or any kind. There's the journaling stamp, which I love as well. And then we nabbed our flower from there. By the way, if you see this little emblem on any stamp set that you purchase, it is a $1 million salesperson emblem. When someone reaches $1 million in their journey as a demonstrator, as a business demonstrator with Stampin' Up, Stampin' Up showers them with lots of things, but one of the things that they get to do is help influence or create a design for a stamp set. So that's what that means. So this was one of our $1 million winners. So that's Love This Moment. Oh, by the way, remember this is in the last chance. It's only $10, so it's on sale. I think maybe at least half off, which is a good deal. And then that embossing folder that I keep raving on about is called the Plaster Painting 3D embossing folder. It's super, super yummy. It has all of that thick texture. And then those circles are from my favorite circle set of dies to date, which are the Spotlight on Nature. There are a lot of circles in here with a lot of different patterns around the border. Let me show you. I like to show these from time to time because there's so much. And look how many circles there are. There are a ton of them. And there's still some on the card here. See that? They are scrumptious. I love them. They've sold out and restocked. I can't tell you how many times. A couple of times at least. So they were a bit elusive for quite a while. But I think they're back in the store as well. Oh, I don't have those in there right. I'll worry about it. And then we use Stampin' Blends markers. They're alcohol ink markers. They come in a set of 2. You get a light and a dark each of them for each set. A light and dark of the same color. And I'm not getting them together. Hey, I tried hard, didn't I? I'm going to blame it on daylight savings time, you guys, because that is my excuse for the day. It set the standard for my morning this morning, I tell you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for showing up on Sunday and daylight savings time to boot. You spent your time with me. Time, our most precious commodity, and you hung out in my craft room with me, and I am truly, truly grateful for that. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will be back here with you next week to share again. So have a crafty weekend, guys. I will see you soon. Bye-bye now.